So writing linear equations given the slope and y-intercept. So remember, m is our slope, and some different words for that would be rise over run, just depending on how it's in context. Coefficient of x, rate of change, and then we want to do the same thing, and that's just making a vocabulary list. So in case, again, the question asks for the same thing that you do know how to do, but not in the words you're used to seeing. B is your y-intercept. That location, that constant, it's a constant in our equation because it doesn't have a variable. And it's your starting point. And the word starting point is a lot more helpful in like word problems and such. But y-intercept constant starting point is all your b value when it's in slope-intercept form. Your slope, or the m, is going to be slope, rise over run, coefficient of x, and rate of change. And we're going to just repeat that as much as possible because, again, the change in vocabulary shouldn't hinder you from using the skills you know you have. So slope, that's where our 5 comes into play. And then our y-intercept, oh, I just did that absolutely backwards. It's not 5, it's 3. Slope is 3. Our y-intercept is 5. And remember, y-intercept is that guy that hangs out at the back as a constant. So our slope is 3. Our y-intercept is 5. For our second one, our m is 1/2. And our y-intercept is a -10. You are probably not going to see this as plus and minus. You will probably see that answer written y equals 1/2 x minus 10. And then last but not least, so our slope is 2. And our y-intercept is 0, 9. So remember, whenever you have a y-intercept, the x value is always going to be 0. So that's what the y-intercept is. That means you didn't go left and right at all. You just went up or down to find a starting point. So then plus 9 here. So no matter how they give it to you, hopefully you'll be able to write that guy. So we're going to try again. So number 1, our slope is 2. So that's y equals 2x. And as we talked about in previous videos, y and x have their own job. So the slope is 2. The slope is not 2x. Because that's like me grabbing you and your friend when your friend was in trouble. Or you and your friend when I'm paying you to mow my yard. Whatever. Either way, m has its own job, and that's its slope. And it's just that number. And then our y-intercept is at -3. And most students don't have a problem just grabbing that -3. All right, so when you were given m, so that's y equals -2x plus 7, because that's our b value. Again, y-intercept starting point. And then our slope is 4. Y equals 4. X. And we're going to, those two are separate things, though we're used to seeing them together. And our y-intercept, when x is 0, that y value is our y-intercept. So -6. I challenge you to pause your video because right below it, you're going to see some you tries. And you rate those 3 and see if you got them all right and come back and check in with us. All right, so our slope, 3/4 x plus 4. Our y-intercept is at the end as a constant. Slope is your coefficient of x. So y equals 1/2 x plus 8. And then last but not least, y equals 3x plus, our x value is 0, so we know this is the y-intercept. 4. Sure, you were rock stars and you killed it on those guys. So moving right along and adding to our information. So that's when you're given the slope and given the y-intercept. That is not always the way it's going to be given to you. Sometimes you're given the slope and a coordinate. So that's when I was talking about your x and y have their own job. X and y in y equals mx plus b takes on every coordinate that make up that line. So that's every single decimal point, every single fractional location, every single whole number, which we're used to using from our tables, but all of them. X and y means every single portion that makes that straight line a straight line and fills it in. So m is going to be your slope. Remember, rate of change, coefficient of x, and rise over run. X is the x value of a coordinate, and y is the y value of the coordinate. So in this case, our slope is 1/4 in our given example. Our x value is 2, and our y value is 8. So remember, it's always x and then y. They come in alphabetical order. And same when plotting a point. You're going to go left, right, because that x first, and then you're going to go up or down for your y coordinate. So we plug these in. So y is going to be 8, because it's y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. I have my slope, which is 1/4. And I have my x value, which is 2. What we're missing is your y-intercept. So you're missing where it crosses the y-axis. If you have a piece of graph paper, you could theoretically plot the point 2/8, and then count your slope either direction. and it might cross to a perfect b. Sometimes those b's are decimals though, and we know how to solve equations for a variable, so we're going to solve it. So again, we have 8, 1/4 is our m value, and times 2. So 1/4 of 2 is going to definitely give us a decimal, because if I cut it in half, that's 1, and I'm going to cut it in half again, that's going to be 0.5. And 1/4, remember, is like a quarter to a dollar. So we're going to take 1/4 of 2, and then I have 8. I need to get b by itself, so this is like where we would box in our variable we need, line of great divide. We're going to minus 0.5, minus 0.5. So this one wouldn't necessarily cross an x-axis very neatly. So that graphing would probably not be your best choice here. But solving, so 1/4 again of 2 is 0.5. Move it away from the b because we need b by itself to find out what the y-intercept is. So b is our y-intercept, and our y-intercept is 7.5. And as a coordinate, that means x is 0, y is 7.5. All right, let's do another one. So we have a slope of 2. This is my x value. This is my y value. So it's y equals mx plus b. So we're going to plug in our y, our slope, our x value, and we don't have our b. So we have to leave it as b because we don't know what that is yet. And now we're going to solve for b. So line of great divide, variable by itself. We're going to clean up on one side. So 2 times -4 is going to give you that -8. We need to move it away from b. It's a -8, so we're going to add 8 to both sides. And 5 plus 8 is going to give me 13. And so now I have a b. So to write the final equation, it's going to be y equals, our slope was 2, x plus 13. So you have to work to find b to write the equation, because x and y, when you write the equation, always has to be x and y, because again, it's holding space for every single point that makes up that straight line. So your final answer to write the equation when given a slope and a coordinate would be this guy. And this is just the work that's necessary to be able to get to that point. All right, so we're going to do it again. So we're going to do y equals mx plus b. Our y value, x, y. So y is 21. My m is 3/4. My x is 10. And then I'm going to have plus b because, again, we don't have a b value. So without the b value, we can't do anything yet. We have to solve for that b value first. And so we're going to do 3/4 of 10, which again is going to be probably a decimal because half of 10 is 5. Plus it's going to be 7.5. So 3/4 of 10 should be 7.5. Yep. Just want to make sure I check out my calculator so I don't give you, we don't run down a rabbit hole. Plus b. We're going to do our great divide. We're getting b by itself. So we're going to subtract 7.5 from each side. So 21 minus 7.5 is going to give me 13.5. So I now have my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 13.5. My slope is 3/4. So now we're sitting just like we were at the top of this page, and we need to write. So y equals, and we're going to put our m, x, plus, and we're going to put our b. So our slope was 3/4, positive slope, and then 13.5. So then you go to 13.5 on your graph. You count up 3 because the rise is 3, and then run 4. And it's a positive slope, so that line is going to chase off into that direction. So up to the right. So from left to right, traveling up. All right, again, pause the video. Try it. Now's your time to mess up. You can figure it out later, but you got to figure out where you're going to mess up first. All right, rock stars, see what's happening. Gonna bet you killed it. So m, -2, x and y. So this is going to be a 7. That looked like an x, sorry. Plus b equals, and 4 is our y. So -2 times 7 is going to give me a -14. I need to get b by itself. So I'm going to add 14 to both sides. And that's going to give me 18 for b. Now we need to write the equation. So we have our m is -2 and our b is 18. So y equals m, which is -2, x plus 18. All right, so number 4, this one has a fraction, but I know you can do it. So y equals 1/2 x plus b. Sorry, it was supposed to be mx plus b. Y is going to be our 2, x is our negative 16. So we're going to put negative 2 equals 1/2 negative 16 plus b. Half of negative 16 is going to be a negative 8. And then we're going to move it away from that b value. And it's a negative, so we're going to add 8 because that's the inverse of that negative. And so negative 2 plus 8 is going to give me 6. So our y-intercept is 6. Our slope is 1/2. So we're going to write this equation. Y equals 1/2 x plus 6. All right, guys. So that's writing the equation when given a slope and a point. Awesome job, guys. Have a great day.